Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome to our live mega stream for Captain America: Brave New World, brought to you by the United States Air Force. I have an all-star panel with me here today: Ed Greer, Emma Fife, and please stick around because we got a movie fight coming up afterwards that's even more star-studded, so we will dive right into that. But first, the spoiler chat for Captain America: Brave New World. We all saw this movie this weekend.
Yes.
I guess a lot of other people did. It's doing good enough. Certainly good by movie standards, but good by Marvel standards too.
Yeah. I mean, what did we say? 100 million
190 worldwide.
190 worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So
That's
now
good eating.
now I can start making money. I can start making money from this point.
So a lot was riding on this after Deadpool and Wolverine. We're here to talk about the quality, though. How this movie stacked up against your expectations, against the world expectations. Let me get just like a brief overview of your thoughts walking out of the theater. Start with you, Emma.
This was a film. It had a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Film confirmed.
This would be great on like TBS on a Sunday afternoon. Look, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't good.
Okay. Well,
That's my feeling about it. It was fine. It was fine. It was a movie.
Ed, what'd you think?
I thought it flew in the middle ground between Eternalsville and good stuff up here, all the stuff people love, Infinity War and game stuff. Winter Soldier is way up here in the sky. It's below radar. Yeah. It's flying under the radar, above the ground, above the ground level of Marvel fare, right in Iron Man 2ville.
So I might ask you to rank it later in the rest of the MCU. And I think it's important to look at it in context because by itself, I think it was fine. It was a movie, as Emma said. There were colors and movements and things I enjoyed about it. There's cracks of sunshine in it. It wasn't a disaster on the level of Iron Man 2 for me, but the worst of Marvel has to offer. It was not in that ranking. But I think that with the whole universe kind of on its heels, kind of a little shaky. This was not the reset that I think it needed. And with throwing the name Captain America up there puts a lot of pressure on it to deliver. And I rewatched Winter Soldier for this, just as part of, to be like, am I wrong or is it the children? But no, Winter Soldier was.
Winter Soldier rips.
Yeah, that movie still absolutely rips.
Well, and I think that some of it was for me watching this because you have to think in the sort of overall timeline of Marvel. The last time we were really spending time with the character of Sam Wilson was in the TV show Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. That was 3 years ago now.
Sure.
So it's not very fresh in my memory. I will say, watching this, it was jogging my memory a little bit going, oh yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier was pretty good. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It was pretty good. That was one that I think, like this movie, bit off a lot more than it could chew, but it was doing a good job at it. And I really think that Anthony Mackie clearly really cares about this character.
He really does.
He's really up to the task. He went actually trained at Nellis Air Force Base with pararescuemen and stuff like that. And I just wish that I want the material to rise to the level of his performance.
I think that's a really good way of putting it. And also, I mean, obviously within this film, we just have the one scene with him and Sebastian Stan that's very brief and frankly, I don't think really served any purpose in the movie whatsoever.
And that's okay.
And that's fine.
It was just people hanging out.
Sure.
Because everything else was so exposition and plot driven. It was nice to just see characters we love having a conversation.
Totally, but it did remind me of what great chemistry the two of them have together. And I think we explored the really interesting part of Sam's journey. I think that's one of the things that was quite strong in Falcon and the Winter Soldier was this idea of him being a black Captain America in a world that doesn't really want him.
Sure.
And they didn't really continue with that.
It was interesting what they did in this one, where Isaiah Bradley, who is another highlight for me of the film,
totally,
I like his, performance and just any action scene involving a strong old man was pretty cool. But they did the thing where he's like, my own government imprisoned me for 30 years and ran experiments on me, and they're like, moving on. Which is true. That's probably the reaction I would have as well.
To have them Chandler that was wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To have them Chandler that was wild. Yeah. I really feel like there's a real lack of earnestness in a lot of entertainment, period. And especially when you bite off, like you were saying, bite off this much to chew about all these social dynamics, about all the rejection of the Captain America and blah, blah, blah. And they really took pains in this movie. One of the few dramatic things I felt worked in the movie was they took pains to be like, a regular ass person being Captain America is its own sort of symbol.
Yes.
And they really took pains to do that. Bucky scene was about that.
Totally.
And the later scene was about that. And in the series, but I think we're running into this cognitive dissonance where supposedly streaming and movies are the same thing. They could be seen at the same level of immersion. They could be seen at the same level of prestige. This is not correct.
No.
When you introduce too much stuff in TV shows, introducing Kang in the TV show was one of the main reasons why that crap didn't work. Besides Kang sucking compared to Dr. Doom and all these people slave her over. Besides that part, introducing something on TV and then trying to blow it up.
Right.
It's like taking a crappy little sketch and blowing it up. You see all the imperfections.
Yeah.
And it's you introduce things on a feature level or you don't.
I hate to say it, this had like Netflix movie energy.
100%. This could have
yeah.
been a Disney Plus film,
Yeah.
and I think we would have not seen the cracks
Well,
as much.
it has intense gray man energy, and it comes,
Or Red Notice, either
Yeah,
one.
a red notice if you will. I got a red notice for this gray man energy. Yeah, it's got a little, and the cinematography betrays the whole thing. The bigness of this, the magnificence we're supposed to feel when Red Hulk comes out or whatever, is so muted from like this weird palette.
Now, I will say I liked half the action. I liked when
agree.
when he's
Yeah.
in the Falcon suit, that
Flying
duel
stuff.
with the
yeah.
jets. I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
I even
yeah.
thought that the Red Hulk stuff was, albeit spoiled by the trailers,
Yes.
was fun to watch Red Hulk destroy the White House
Yeah.
and run through the cherry blossoms.
I agree with you that there actually were some very good action sequences in this, and there were ones that were a letdown, but a lot of again, this is coming back to what you were saying, Ed, about regular guy Captain America. It was really fun to see him utilize all of the technology that he had. Like the way that he used his wings, I thought was really, really fun when he was like slicing stuff with
Yeah,
them.
but out of the suit, and I know that they made it a thematic point of like, yeah, I chose not to take the serum, I haven't taken it, I'm just a regular dude. When you're just a guy with a
know.
frisbee, like that action is not that cool. Fighting a room full of regular
Hey
dudes.
man, I threw a frisbee at missiles and they were bouncing around and my homie got blew up and I love the him trying to be a technological marvel as Captain America. There is a dissonance. I keep using that word, but there's a dissonance between Captain America, the ultimate athlete, and this guy with a bunch of technology.
Yeah.
There is something there, and then people go like, well, if you don't like this, you don't like X. And it's like, oh, God.
Here we go.
You know what I mean?
It almost feels like, yes, we were making that point of regular guy Captain America, and there were moments in the film where that was very clear and that message was well executed, but overall, I think that should have been thematically what was driving this movie, and it didn't feel like it was.
A lot of threads got brought up and dropped,
Yes.
like him reforming the Avengers.
Well, and like him being regular guy versus the most muscular person ever.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
there in a way, but not.
So one thing, pulling back the curtain a little bit, is this was the victim of extensive rewrites and reshoots,
Yes.
and a victim of the strikes in the middle of production. So it felt that way.
It sure
Well,
did.
but the superfluous character problem that this movie has comes, I think, from the reshoots. I think that's why people keep bringing it up. And I don't want to be mean to that point as though I'm assailing its intelligence. But I am saying, okay, this is what we got.
Yeah.
After all the reshoots, this is what we got. And to me, the only part that we really see from so-called reshoots, some superfluous characters and some sort of flatness of like, sometimes people didn't even seem to be in the same room as each other.
I don't think they were.
Because, I feel like they're just like,
But it was so extreme to the point that there are Happy Meal toys for characters that don't appear in this movie. They
like
went
the
through
Buffalo Super Bowl sweatshirts that are in some country where they don't know.
So yeah, this was. But one thing that had to have been built into this from the start was we need to pay off those fans of the Incredible Hulk. We really need to make sure that everybody loose end from that film got tied up because
Truly,
this is a spoiler chat. We can talk about it.
I was like, why are we focusing so much on Liv Tyler? Like, I don't care.
Marvel forgot about Liv Tyler. I didn't forget about Liv Tyler, but it wasn't because of this movie.
No, yeah.
I mean, and like her appearance in the movie to like justify his like he's
a
trying to
changed
come back
man.
to humanity.
Yeah.
He's a changed man trying to change for his daughter. When she finally shows up, it looked like CGI.
I thought so too. I
looked
was like,
I
is
don't
that
know.
really her, or did they
Never know these
CGI
days.
create her?
They holo AI'd his daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what did you think about the return of Thaddeus Ross, now played by Harrison Ford, as the surprise Red Hulk. Again, something I think would have
Surprise.
played better if they didn't reveal it
Well,
in the
look,
trailers.
I understand why they couldn't not reveal it because, frankly, it's part of the reason I went, and I hate Red Hulk. Full disclosure,
Why do you hate Red Hulk?
I think it's a stupid ass idea. I think the Hulk is the Hulk.
How do you feel about Grey Hulk?
Almost every sub Hulk, besides perhaps She-Hulk,
Okay.
is crummier than the Hulk on basic meta levels.
Wow.
So he gets hot. Remember when they tried to make Wolverine's
yeah.
claws get hot? Why? What's this? What's this crap? You know, Spider-Man's gonna shoot his webs. They're gonna be hot. It's so stupid. It's just Jeff Loeb. You know, it's the Jeff Loebization of things. There's just this. I don't know. I don't like it.
No, it was funny though because you brought up the Wolverine's claws, and I just recalled the adamantium plot that's in this. Because again,
Right.
it's like there's just so many plot threads. But on the topic of Red Hulk, I did enjoy Harrison Ford's performance. I have to say, like, here's the thing about Harrison Ford: he came back to do those Star Wars sequels, and he's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna act again, and he is acting.
He's acting. He's clearly having a good time in
Totally.
a role that maybe actually demanded more gravitas to sell it. In like, again, you watch this next to Winter Soldier, and like people are playing it so naturalistically. Even Anthony Mackie, like, you get the feeling that these are real
Yeah.
people thrown into an insane situation. This one, it feels like. I don't mean to use this derogatorily, but it feels like you're in a comic book in the
Yeah.
sense that they're just like flipping through the plot to get to the action.
Well,
scenes.
everybody's lines are, "This treaty has to go through." It's like, who says that? The president doesn't say that to somebody who's intimately knowing.
The president doesn't get on the battleship to be the first one to get to the adamantium. I like in Marvel Universe, like the first person who touches it gets it. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're in a race to get to the
Don't take
adamantium in the middle of the
backsies.
ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, this movie has like 15 movies inside of it. The Cold War or Hot War that we would have if something of alien origin just popped up and all the nations would race toward it to
Yeah,
raid it. That's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like 3 minutes.
It's not a bad
in
premise
here.
for a movie. It's like, hey, we're trying to do some treaty to obtain this new element. And Harrison Ford like it's riding on this thing to show that he's a changed guy,
Right.
and then it all gets manipulated. Also, that somebody has manipulated him into office in the first place. That's like you can
Yeah.
build a movie out of that. But the way they did it, also by bringing back Tim Blake Nelson as Elphaba with forehead
is that
wrinkles.
character's name?
The leader.
Okay.
He's the leader. Apparently, in the early shoots, he did have the comic accurate giant forehead, but they said, too silly. Let's make him look like Uncle Piccolo.
Oh, and I think yeah, Uncle Piccolo. Yeah.
Well, some of the real fans are bitching about his design that he didn't have the typical leader goatee. And I'm like,
Right.
kids, we got to stop this.
I
That's
mean,
why everybody hates us.
And again, it's like there's this like disconnect between, you were talking about, Spencer, this feeling like we are in a comic book. The problem is visually, it does not feel like we are in a comic book.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
Marvel color grades everything very gray. And so even Red Hulk is kind of red.
Well, Marvel can
Maroon
exist.
5.
Oh no, this love. They can exist on like two different parallel kind of styles because you have the more street level, it's not street, like Virginia level espionage stories,
Sure.
and then you have the cosmic stuff at the same
Yeah.
time. And you walk into the way this was marketed, at least, was that this was going to be another like a spy thriller,
Right, a
and there was
political
never
drama.
any suspense about who was doing it. When you have a guy with green face paint, literally in the shadows, saying,
Yeah, well, it's not like that great payoff scene you get with Baron Zemo. I think it was at the end of Captain America: Civil War, where he's on the cliffside with the cell phone
Yeah.
and he's re-listening to the voicemail from his dead family. Like, you just don't get that.
I mean, but I think this is a key place for, and it is a super criticism to say, that the Marcus and McFeely of it all and the Russo brothers of it all, the plots in Winter Soldier and Civil War and all these things aren't less flimsy than the plot in this movie.
No.
Understand this. The way that it was introduced and the way we sped through things, the way we sped through the necessary exposition and the snappiness with which the characters naturally interacted, like you said, the naturalism, it was a higher level than this.
Yeah.
When you drop a little bit of the performances down, a little bit of the cutting down, a little bit of the kinetic nature of the
Yeah.
action down, when you take about 15% off of that fastball, you start to see the seams, and you get this where you go, oh, this is way worse than. It's not technically way worse, but
Yeah.
it's way worse by increments,
Yeah.
by degrees.
Well, to me though, it isn't. that this moved too slowly, because I feel like every single
No.
scene and dialogue choice was made towards advancing the plot.
It was
and
all
meaning the plot of like the medals, the treaty, the
Right.
suit. Like it was very much surface level stuff. And I know like people say what they want is like people smashing into each other in space, and so do I. But it's getting you to care about those characters before that happens. And they
Right.
didn't have those moments to let you care about the
Yeah,
characters.
that's what it is. It's that they didn't give you the time to care about the characters. I'm going to bring up a very strange example right now, but Red Wing, okay? That's, Captain America / Falcon, Sam Wilson's little like robot drone
Sure.
buddy. I remember when Red Wing was introduced in the beginning of the Falcon and Winter Soldier series when he's flying around, I felt an emotional connection to that
That little
robot.
thing, yeah.
I was like, if anything happens to Red Wing, I'm out.
Yeah. And like,
I
I'm sorry,
felt-
apologies to Torres, but like, I don't think I ever really cared.
No.
Oh man, I care more about Red Wing than Torres. Oh no,
yeah.
this is a crisis of filmmaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that too, though. I
Yeah.
think that there was a, and when you look at the fact that they've never ever given full weight to Isaiah Bradley's story.
Yes.
Like, even a little, even in Falcon Winter Soldier, you're doing a bunch of reshoots. Take your ass to some place that look like Cambodia or Korea, and let him break some people out of POW. Let him do mission.
Well, I mean, they literally throw him in prison. Like, and that was actually when I think the movie was at its strongest. Were frankly his scenes and his kind of shocking realization of he's been manipulated and
Yeah.
he can't go back and stuff like
Right.
that. And they completely forget about him
Well,
for
I
the
mean,
next 2
totally. But
hours
Just
until the
look
very
at,
end.
Just look at what we're robbed of. If you give Isaiah Bradley a little bit more juice, a little bit more showing of him as the original Captain America, this sort of you get this tainted legacy of it being sort of injected in people and experimented on them,
Right.
and them going over that. Then you get this idealized propaganda machine thing that Steve's personality made into a real soldier, and then you get normal guy, techno guy. You could be it. You get a nice arc of it, but like it's all muddled.
Or just like just break him out of prison so that he's got
Yes.
something to do.
I
like
mean-
Oh my God.
throw the Marvel baseball hat on him so it
Yes,
automatically makes you
give him a
undercover.
leather jacket and a cap.
It's so easy to break out of the Captain America. When he rode he rode a ski-doo up to the raft and broke everybody out. It's so easy. Just do it with your wings. Handle it. You and Torres, get him out of there.
I think you do bring up a really good point, though, Ed, about Isaiah Bradley and what this story could have been. Again, and thematically feels like that is where we should have gone based on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The problem is, instead of taking what we had introduced in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and running with that, and again, if we got to see so the legacy of Isaiah Bradley and how he was the original Captain America and how we got to Sam and that sort of conflict that both of them feel, which is very evident in both characters. However, unfortunately, we're like, we got to wrap up the Hulk and also remember Eternals. Like,
Baffling. Absolutely
that's the
baffling.
problem.
And one of my friends suggested, like, if we're gonna get comic accurate, we're gonna be pushing our glasses up. Let's do it.
Yeah.
What about the Red Hulk messing up the shield to where they have to like rebond it with the adamantium so it can be a
Yeah.
comic accurate Captain America shield for the first time wielded by Sam Wilson?
I
That'd be
have
pretty
a
cool.
question
Yeah.
though. How did maybe this is just like a power scaling thing that I'm not familiar with. How did Falcon beat the Hulk? It seemed like he just won just by stabbing him with his wings.
Well, he
I know
stabbed
Wakanda's
him.
kind of a get out of jail free card. Like it's a
Yeah.
Wakanda suit,
No,
but like
he stabbed him, and then he dropped some cold ass bars about
Yeah,
family.
that's true. That's 100% correct.
That's what he did.
He really loves the Fast and the Furious films, and so he just
That's what
really
did it.
got in
Yeah.
with family.
that had to be like a victim of rewrites or something that like there wasn't some kind of adamantium payoff to the
Yeah,
end.
or some kryptonite for Gamma in
right.
Right.
People.
Right.
Instead, we had Anthony Mackie and Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder, and they had some scenes that were in the film.
Were they ever in a room together?
No, they were only in a room together. No one else in the entire movie ever was in the room with them.
You know what pisses me off about some of these movies? Like, okay, those dudes are ostensibly like right next door. So when Falcon first comes down, he does a sonic boom, beats the crap out of everybody, shoots them, all kind of gunshots. They shoot him with grenades, and then Sidewinder's over here being like, "Yeah, so I'm menacing these priests. I don't hear none of this. I'm menacing these priests so severely I can't hear you."
Also, what happened to him? Where did Sidewinder go? I feel like they had a conversation and then
No,
we
they
just
made a deal. Now he's
never
out of
saw him
prison, I
again.
think.
Yeah.
I love it when you have a villain that is too old to mess with the hero. So you get, hey, big white boy, come out the shadows and
Oh,
beat up
yeah.
beat up Captain America for 5 minutes real quick. I'm about to go get in my Paravan.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, this is not like a awful movie by itself because I enjoyed watching him bust up like a cartel hideout by himself,
Yeah.
Falcon, and like just kicking ass all over the place in the suit at least.
Yeah.
But what is this? You have to ask for these movies is what do they do for the MCU as a whole? And for me, it was nothing. It was wrapping up a movie that I hadn't thought about in 20 years, The Incredible Hulk. And
You hadn't thought about it. I thought about it
every day.
It was for Ed specifically.
Dude, hey,
Justice for Ed Norton.
Us Hulk truthers are out there. All right?
Yeah.
We need resolution.
I can barely even remember which Hulk is which. You know what I mean?
And that's the problem.
I know.
You've been bamboozled. Run amok. The Hulk is the truth.
But like, I still think Anthony Mackie is great as Falcon/Captain America
Yeah.
and should continue to get that role. And I hope that there is a movie someday about him reforming the Avengers. That was not this movie.
It was not.
Yeah, and I guess now the only thing that carries over is Adamantium, which is like it's a
Okay.
nice nod to nerds that like okay,
Yeah,
Wolverine is coming,
well,
but
because especially they did use this movie to wrap up Thunderbolt Ross's story, so it's not like we've introduced, oh, he's gonna be in more of it. I mean, I guess technically where we ended, he could be, but it just felt like this was well, we're gonna tie up some loose ends from some other movies, introduce Adamantium, and that's kind of it.
a couple other threads that they dangled for us is Bucky's running for Congress, which is
That was so random.
wild. Just
So
wild to turn him
It's
into.
like,
Is that that's got to be from the comics because who would vote for the? Well, I don't want to go into that, but like.
He's like his whole campaign is like, what if the Manchurian Candidate was good?
It was good this time, but for real this time.
For real this time.
No dead zone.
He's 110 years old. He was
Yeah.
an assassin for decades.
Yeah.
Has been mind controlled multiple
I just
times.
loved that the woman, the head of security, that used to be a Black Widow woman, was like
She was written out of this.
I
thing, like,
100%.
yeah.
But she did have that one moment with Bucky where she was like real thirsty for him, and Sam's like, he's 108 years old or whatever it is, and she goes, I can work with that.
Right. You don't count the years when you were in a fugue state,
Yeah.
killing people for barren whatever.
Oh, he's a reformed killer.
Yeah. And then the end credits scene. On the scale of reveals, like this is
What
too
was
ruined
revealed?
by the meta-ness of it all because we all know that Secret Wars has been announced
Yeah.
or whatever, but we know that they're announcing some type of potential hero multiverse battle.
Yeah.
Surprise.
They're just trying to make some sort of diegetic foreboding thing. Like we
Yeah.
know, but in universe, maybe they don't know. Maybe they think they have a big handle on the
Sure,
multiverse.
yeah.
And, like I was dead for 5 years. I know everything about existence. Well, no, actually, there's going to be some X-Men and.
But like they clearly don't care if they're actually going to pay things off anymore. Just throw another Harry Styles cameo.
But I maintain that they always did that.
Yeah.
If Thanos didn't catch on, people was like, look at this purple people eating looking ass dude. This is
Yeah.
whack. We would have had something else. But we got
Yeah.
intrigued and we were just like, oh, Jim Starlin is so deep.
Yeah.
We all fell for it and they were like, okay, cool, we'll roll with this. But if we didn't, they would have went with something else. Maybe we would have had Doom earlier. All these timelines exist.
I really think that there's so much riding on, well, the next one to a degree, but Fantastic Four, I think we're in need of like a soft reboot, I think.
And I think that Fantastic Four has the advantage that technically the first Captain America film had, but it was so early in the MCU that it wasn't as important as it is now to put something in a different time period so that it has the ability to exist on its own, which is what we're going to get with Fantastic Four initially. So I think Fantastic Four has a good chance of being good because it gets to exist on its own. Like I remember, and this was, current Marvel timeline, I remember being surprised how much I enjoyed the first Doctor Strange. because it really existed on its own.
Yeah, no, and I also see that, like, if Fantastic Four is what a lot of the nerds want it to be, and is this entry point, we can see this new Marvel universe through the Fantastic Four's eyes. So that adds, like, you know, like seeing something different through your kid's eyes or whatever. It's like these new childlike characters from the '60s existence come to see the Marvel universe in this tumult right now, and it will add a layer of interest, I think.
So yeah, I agree. I think this wasn't like a universe derailing failure, but I think that this does nothing except just kind of pass the time until some bigger fish arrive.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We start this all over again.
And I think it's unfortunate because, you know, I do think that Anthony Mackie's heart is really in this, and I think he is extremely well cast, and this movie just didn't really service him.
He's great, man. Justice for Sam Wilson, justice for Cap. Any final thoughts? You have anything nice to say? I like to end on a positive note.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've stated that Wilson as Captain America, using all the tools at his disposal, has a lot of visual appeal and has a lot of emotional appeal to the average guy. If you want to train up, if you want to believe that there's certain training and certain mental processes you can go through to make yourself be super, he's a great conduit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emma, anything?
I'm just reminded of how great the chemistry is between Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
brilliant together. I hope to see them in another film or
I want
TV
to see
show.
more of his congressional campaign in the movie coming up. And to be able to say to Sam Wilson, just take the serum. You know, just take it. you know it's
vial.
It's not bad for you.
I like
Steve Rogers is 90 and he's doing fine.
I like regular guy Captain
Yeah.
America.
Dude,
You
he's
keep
gonna
it
get
regular.
he's gonna get in a car crash with Captain America. He's gonna have to get a blood transfusion.
He's like a
Perfect.
half super soldier.
Yes, done.
Jimmy
Do it.
Soldier.
All right, y'all. We have a star-studded movie fights for you guys up next. But first, while we get set, our own Ed Greer put together a refresher on everything Sam Wilson. So let's go to that now. Thanks for watching.
We first met Sam
Nice.
Wilson when he helped the original Captain America, Steve Rogers, save the world from Hydra in Captain America: Winter Soldier. Steve Rogers knew that the former Air Force pararescueman would be an asset in the fight against Hydra. But what Rogers didn't know was that Sam Wilson was part of a fictional, ultra-secret military program using prototype wingsuits to fight the war on terror. This suit, coupled with his keen mind, Air Force training, and superb piloting acumen, made Wilson a human jet with unmatched maneuverability. Sam helped Steve defeat Hydra and liberate Rogers' friend Bucky Barnes from Hydra control. When an Avengers mission went wrong in Lagos and Bucky Barnes was framed for an act of terror in Vienna, Sam stuck with Steve Rogers and Barnes as the trio became worldwide fugitives. He fought alongside Captain America against the seemingly unbeatable Team Iron Man sent to capture them. At the beginning of Infinity War, Wilson was a central figure in Captain America's Underground Avengers. When the Vision was injured, Sam got him to Wakanda to treat the android's wounds. He was a key figure in the final battle against Thanos.
Captain Sam, can you hear me?
It's telling that the first evidence Captain America had that the victims of the blip had been restored was Sam Wilson telling Cap that the cavalry was coming. Wilson and the other Avengers fought valiantly and in the end, defeated Thanos. When Steve Rogers headed back in time to restore all the Infinity Stones, he bequeathed the indestructible shield of Captain America to Sam Wilson, advising that Wilson was the only man worthy of it. The strength of character forged by his training as an Air Force pararescueman has served Sam Wilson well. Pararescuemen are heroes for the real world. They are experts in skydiving, climbing, and survival in extreme environments. Like Captain America, they perform all manner of impossible rescue missions. This fits the defensive rather than the offensive approach that Captain America embodies. His main weapon is a shield, after all. Super Soldier Serum doesn't give you what it takes to be Captain America.
The only power I have is that I believe we can do better.
Training, loyalty, discipline, and heart do that.
It's time for Screen Junkies Movie Fights.
Come on, let's get nuts.
I want to fight you.
Want to fight?
Let him fight.
You stop this fight, I'll kill you.
I could do this all day.
Goodness. Do we have audio?
awesome. I love doing a movie fights with audio. Welcome, everybody. We are flying by the seat of our pants, just like Falcon, aka Captain America. Welcome to Movie Fights. It's great to be back. My name is Hal Rudnick, and today's show is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. And we are so excited. It's a star-studded Movie Fights filled with a panel of legends. I am more excited than Harrison Ford turning into the Red Hulk.
I don't know if he was excited, Hal, so much as
I mean, he was
angry.
amped. He was amped up.
He was pretty pumped.
Listen, I'm as agitated as Harrison Ford turning into the Red Hulk. Let's meet our fighters who need no introduction. This woman, she is no stranger to fights. Previously, TV Fights was her format. The long-running host of TV Fights, currently a real reject. Welcome, Roxy Stryer.
How crazy to be back, and this time fighting. I don't know. We'll see, man.
You know
we'll
what?
see.
You can go home again. Okay. Sitting next to the delightful Roxy. I call him the cute one when it comes to the schmoes. No, back in the day. With a Movie Fights record. Wait, where are these records? Who was keeping these records?
I didn't know somebody kept the records.
Is the Movie Fights record of 24-12. That's pretty good. That'll get you into the playoffs.
Really?
I have no idea if that's accurate.
I'll take it.
Fact check that later. He's a stand-up comedian, a Washington sports fan, and an internet legend, Mark Ellis.
Oh, Hal, and a nanu to you and everybody out there watching. Thanks for coming back with us. What a trip down memory lane it's been, and what a fight we're going to have. The topic, they haven't told me yet.
You know what? He's flying by the seat of his pants. He's going to learn it in real time.
We'll figure something out.
And finally, he is a former Movie Fights champion. He is a current theme park enthusiast. You should listen to his podcast, The Ride. I'd like to welcome back Mike Carlson.
Hello, Hal. Thank you for having me. Is there a record of mine on there?
You are treading water at 17 and 28.
You're writing it down as you say it.
Okay.
No, it's on there. I see it. 17 and 28.
We'll fact check all this
fact
or
check it
not.
later.
We have fact checkers, by the way, and opinion givers. Please welcome a shot of the couch, Lon Harris and Danielle Radford.
Hey, I don't have that fact. I don't know what Mike's record is.
Yes. Oh, Jack Shipley probably knows.
Hopefully he's watching. Jack, if you're out there, please let us know.
Please get in the comments, Jack. Thank you, love you.
Yeah, Danielle Radford is going to be working the social media. Lon Harris is going to be DJing over there, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Fantastic.
I got my air horn ready to interrupt.
Remix!
So this is a Captain America movie fight, and here's how it's going to work. We've got a big main round question. After these three combatants give their answer, one of them will be eliminated.
Yes.
Yeah. One of them's going to go.
Gonna be you guys.
Bad blood already.
Very good shot.
And then the two remaining fighters will move on to a very exciting speed round from which we will determine our winner. And the answers, they will be judged by myself, and we will be judging on accuracy, passion, creativity, and unwavering subjective biases.
Yeah, all right, I got one of those in the bag.
So,
you call me the cute one. I mean, how can I lose this, right?
Listen, if we were going by looks, Ellis, it would be all you. Folks, let's do this.
Come on, let's get nuts. I want to fight you.
You want to fight?
Let him fight.
You start this fight, I'll kill you.
Why is everybody messing with me?
I was going to open for you. Yes. I was going to open your water for you, ma'am.
All right, time to open your mouths when I ask you this question and give us your answers.
Never misses.
Thank you. Here is your question. And we're going to start with Roxy. We'll go to Mark, and then Mike, and then it'll be a little bit of a free-for-all.
First is the best.
At the end of Captain America Brave New World credits, it's confirmed Cap will return. I would like to hear each of you pitch your standalone movie for Captain America 5. Rox.
Yeah. Okay, listen. So the movie ends. We know Cap is coming back. We also know, per the assignment, this is a standalone movie. So we're not immediately putting the Avengers Assemble, right? So how do we really spotlight Cap? So the president has stepped down, full spoilers, as the discussion was. And that means that the VP becomes the president. Who was the VP? Not sure, but there's a new VP that is named, and that is going to be Val. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who was the director of the CIA, but now she is the VP. And she has always been kind of, in the movies, a little bit of a mysterious character. She's not fully bad. She's not fully good. She's a little bit in between. But what she believes is that war is good for business and that she really wants to get the Avengers back together so that the United States can be as strong as possible against all other countries or all other different things that they need defense against. So she thinks that turmoil will be helpful. So she ends up aligning herself with a billionaire tech guy whose name is Al Hill. And he promises her that he will finance her future presidential campaign and that he will get her into that presidential seat. And in return, she says that she'll help him avoid any kind of legal troubles. So he creates this big billionaire tech company, but nobody really knows exactly what he does or what they do, just that they have these products that they're making a lot of money from. And that's what's going on there.
Vehicles and...
In what world?
You are picking up what I'm putting down. Okay. So she meets with Cap and she's like, what's going on with the formation of the team? How are we doing? And Cap's like, honestly, things have been pretty good recently. Like, I don't really feel like we need to put the team together. I've reached out and nobody's really interested since Ross's death. Since his step down, things have been peaceful. So we're no need for the Avengers right now. And she's like, no, I disagree with that. So she ends up kind of pushing Al Hill to be the worst version of himself, to create turmoil in the United States. And he starts terrorizing anybody and everyone who's different than he is. He goes after all different minorities, and he is buying different information companies to spread hatred and misinformation. And he is having these big rallies, and at these rallies, he's convincing everybody that Captain America is bad for the United States, and he is unsafe. And that you don't want Captain America to be involved in that. He doesn't care about the every average day person. He only cares about the specific groups of people that he cares about.
Wait, he's talking that smack about Cap?
He's talking a lot of smack about Cap, okay.
I don't like that.
And he puts out footage to support this, right, on all of his information sites. Okay. So then half of the general public starts to hate Captain America, and they're ruthless to him in the streets. Captain America obviously has his players with him.
How are they to him in the sheets?
Listen, you can't be too mean to him in the sheets. But not many people get that opportunity.
I just want to get that straight.
I do think it's a really interesting point, and I really
Anthony
like
Mackie
him.
is fine.
He should have some kind of a love interest. That is very important, especially if you're going to release another movie on Valentine's Day. But that's not here nor there right now. So that's what's going on. And then he's using his team Cap, Isaiah, Falcon, Sabra, who they are all supporting him and trying to show why they are okay.
Yes.
But these rallies are multiplying. People are getting angrier, and all of this stuff is going on. And then we find out that this man, this Al Hill guy, who's been wearing these purple hoodies, and the hoodies keep getting pointier and pointier and pointier.
Oh, boy.
He ends up being bomb hate monger.
Whoa.
So if you guys are not familiar with hate monger, he full blown is in like a purple Klansman uniform, and he is somebody who is actually a clone of Hitler. So, like as bad as they come. And this is our big bad villain. And he's doing these rallies, and he's using his technology for the people at the rallies. It's just like the H-ray, which is his typical weapon. But through the speakers, he's convincing all of these people to hate everyone.
Wow.
And then by the end of the movie, that will get turned against him. We all know that Falcon's obsessed with Ant-Man. So Ant-Man will come and use his little small self to get involved. And he will switch
to get up in that purple hoodie.
To get into the speakers and turn it around so that instead of hating everyone else, they start to hate monger himself. Then the mob turns on him and kills him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Take that, monger of hate.
What a powerful journey.
Listen, it's a whole big thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Call me Marvel.
No, a nice twist, and I'm gonna throw out all my purple hoodies. Roxy, nicely done. Mark Ellis,
Sir.
let's hear your pitch.
All right, well, look, I didn't realize that we couldn't have them team up, so you're not going to get to hear my pitch about Captain America and Paddington, bringing him back to the fresh side of the tomato meter. You weren't ready for marmalade-flavored vibranium, so instead what you're getting is this. Hal, take my hand and walk with me into the multiplex to show America what they love seeing. What does America love more than apple pie and time travel? That's right, folks. There's going to be some football involved as well. We're going all the way back to the 1940s because the technology that was used to time travel in Avengers Endgame, which, by the way, is the most profitable of all the MCU films, has been stolen by, you guessed it, the Nazis. They got their hands on the time travel technique, and so now they're going back in time, stealing stuff, trying to fix things. Luckily, modern day, we found out, we got wise, we created a task force specifically engineered, not unlike in Time Cop, the TEC, to regulate who gets to go back in time and when. So there's stuff going on around World War II, and they get word that two villains, Dr. Doom and Red Skull, are planning to implant Red Skull's brain into the original Captain America right before his big meeting with Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Oh!
This is actually a storyline that was used in the
FDR?
comics. So the hardcore Captain America comic book fans are going to be pleased, and the masses are also going to get that there's this Cold War going on, and then in between the Cold War, we got the modern stuff, and then before that, we had World War II, and we're going to involve all that stuff, because Captain America, as we know him now, Sam, is going to be tasked with going back to 1940s to stop this plot from happening. He has to team up with the original Captain America, Steve Rogers, to fight Dr. Doom and Red Skull before they steal Cap's brain, put in Red Skull's brain, and mess this whole meeting up. And now, what's the fallout? Well, it's nothing but bliss, because now we're going to speed up the civil rights movement by 20 years. We're going to get these two in a room with FDR. We might end World War II a lot cleaner than it was, and everybody's going to be happy. And I have product tie-ins, folks. That's right. I came with product tie-ins. Because who makes a better mass-produced apple pie than McDonald's? We love a good McDonald's apple pie, and so the movie's going to take place in modern day with Sam and Falcon celebrating Falcon's return from the hospital into the real world, and they're munching on McDonald's because he finally can eat something that's not hospital food. So we established they love McDonald's.
Damn.
They go back in time, and then he's talking with Steve Rogers, and Steve Rogers is used to eating these 1940s MREs. Gross, am I right, kids?
Oh, yeah,
And so,
those government-issue meals.
after they leave the White House, meeting with FDR, it goes great. We stopped Red Skull, we stopped Dr. Doom, and then Cap's like, well, I guess you're going back to your time, and I'm staying in my time. And Sam is like, we got one more trip we got to take. He flies him with his nanotech wings all the way out to San Bernardino, California to visit the very first McDonald's hamburger stand in 1940, and we can charge 10 cents and 15 cents for hamburgers and cheeseburgers for one day only. In the modern time, we get Happy Meal toys, the MCU, McDonald's, money. Do you like printing money? This is the concept you want.
I say throw Michael Keaton in there as the founder.
I don't hate that idea at all. Shared universe.
Just one quick follow-up. Give me one Happy Meal toy I'll get out of this.
One Happy Meal toy you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's so small you can't see it. Nanotech.
Whoa! Wow, it's like the Emperor's New Clothes.
Right. Kids, don't choke on that. It's nanotech.
Mark Ellis, thank you for that merchandising miracle of a pitch.
Wow.
Mike Carlson. Mike Carlson, talk to me.
Okay. Folks, Sam Wilson's been through a lot.
True.
Fought with the Avengers. He's teamed with Bucky Barnes. He's fought a red, jacked up, muscular Harrison Ford. He's done it all. There's only one more thing he needs to do before he becomes as legendary as Steve Rogers. Sam Wilson.
They took my pitch was so good they took my mic.
Do I need to dramatically start again?
Question, well, they both work because we're going to go back and forth.
Could we hear the perfect things that I just said? Yes. Okay, great. Sam Wilson needs to do one more thing to compete with the legendary status of Steve Rogers. He needs to get frozen. He needs to be frozen in a block of ice for 70 years. Folks, I am pitching you Captain America 5, 2095. Let's say that again. Captain America 5:2095. Yes, Sam is going to get frozen in a mid-credit scene in Secret Wars by Iceman accidentally.
Woo!
And he is going to be stuck in that block of ice for 70 years until he is thawed out when the world needs him most in the future. We're talking about a movie that is part Demolition Man, part Austin Powers. There's going to be fun future action, and there's also going to be some fun fish out of water comedy. And isn't that going to be a nice balance for all of us? So what happens is, in the future, the American government has developed technology where they've made flags anthropomorphic. Every flag you see on a pole now has a circulatory system, and they also have thoughts and feelings. Unfortunately, this is
wow.
Yes. Unfortunately, this
Let me just digest that. So when a flag is waving, it's actually waving at you, saying hello.
That's right. Blood is pumping. The flags have lungs.
Do they have sex, these flags?
Yes, they do have.
Oh, flag sex.
Other flags?
With other flags. If you ever see flags with two flags on one pole, those flags have sex during the night.
Wait.
Half-mast last night, honey.
Wait, while a flag is at a pole, could a flag have a pole?
Yes, the flag can. The flags can only make love. We'll say make love. The flags can only make love when it's windy.
Climb it up the flagpole and see. Whole new meaning.
Exactly.
Amazing.
That's right.
Okay, so living flags.
But this goes out of control. The flags suddenly grow legs, and their mouths get bigger, and they have sharp teeth, and they start eating human beings in America. Science has run amok. They've done too much. So they think, oh, who do we have that could fix this? Well, we just learned that Sam Wilson is in a block of ice from 70 years ago. Let's thaw him out. And that's what they do, and they explain to him. Now, the fun comes from the learning curve of being 70 years later. So Sam will go to like a coffee shop, and the android working there will say, would you like an espresso pill? And he'll say, oh, espresso, that new song that's on the radio. Oh, and then the android will look at him like, what are you talking about, pal? And that's when the big laughs start happening in the theater. And that's what's going to be the sort of glue that holds the movie together. Like somebody will say something about the flu or something, and he'll go, oh, yeah, like bird flu that's... Oh, and he remembers, of course, bird flu was 70 years ago. And again, the big laughs start happening in the theater. Now, once the laughs are over, then Sam has to go and fight. And he's going to end up fighting. You know, they have like bigger flags at like the White House and stuff.
Oh,
he
yeah.
has to fight the biggest flag, which has the biggest mouth.
Meaty
and
flags.
What about those giant flags they unfurl on the field at like a football game?
He has to fight those too.
No!
That's right. And also those flags have had children as well. The flags have started reproducing. It's like a similar thing to Jurassic Park, where the flags have figured out a way to continue.
Give me a couple more current references that Sam's going to ask about in 2095 that are going to generate big laughs. In the theater.
Big laughs. Yeah. Okay. The snack wrap at McDonald's is back in this year, 2025.
Right.
So somebody's going to say something about, oh, do you need a snack? And he'll say, oh, the snack wrap at McDonald's is, and he forgets.
That's going to get big laughs.
Big laughs in the theater. Exactly. And then it'll be like, let's just think, he'll say,
hey, crazy that the Kansas City Chiefs didn't three-peat.
Yeah, and then he'll say, oh, but that just
and wait, it's Super Bowl 100.
Yeah, and then Sam will always say, like, he'll kind of think, he'll be like, shoot. He'll like think to himself, and the camera will zoom in on his face going like, come on, Sam. And he'll do like a real, like one of those, like an old sitcom.
Oh, he's going to mug to the camera.
He's gonna mug to the camera. It's going to be like Deadpool, but that's the only time he's going to look and break the fourth wall. He looks to the camera.
Right.
Yeah. So he eventually, defeats the flags, and what happens is he has to kill one of the flags.
No.
But what he does is he sees all of the 10 children of the flag, and he decides he has to raise the children as his own.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So he takes the flags in, and then the flags become good guys.
That's
in
a beautiful
future
message
installments.
at the end.
Exactly.
All right. I've heard enough. Now fight it out. Get in there.
Can we not time travel anymore? Like, to both of you guys? Like, do we just are we so unokay with where we are and talking about where we are that we have to go back and forward?
Well,
can we just stay here in comic books and movies for like one hot second?
I don't want to stay here, first of all.
No.
But I do. The future is better than the past. And even though there's scary flags, I think it's more fun to be in the future than it is to be in the past. And I think that's going to excite audiences and drive box office.
I feel like the flags being anthropomorphic might not be the crowd-pleasing opening weekend jaunt that you think it's going to be. And look, Roxy, I would much rather go back in time than basically watch a movie that is about our current Twitter timeline.
It seems ripped from it's ripped from today's headlines, which I like, but also I don't like today's headlines.
Right, but the thing is, I think we need some guidance, right? Like, never in life have we been as lost as we might be now, or as divided. And there is more in common than there is different. And sometimes we need art to show us that. And right now we need some direction. We need some understanding. We need some coming together. Without talking about what's going on now and just giving up on this time by going back or going forward, how are we going to get any better?
Wow, so this movie is going to unite a nation, you're saying?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Wow.
It's kind of
Wow,
a
wow,
big
wow,
deal.
wow, 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 wow. Now, I have another question for Mike.
Go ahead.
What about, like, if I have, like, a little Lakers flag on my car?
It's alive. It's alive and it's
Are all
procreating.
the flags are alive for all the people? Like, anybody who has a flag is in
There
big
are
trouble.
some old, outdated flags that people have for nostalgia reasons, but generally the non-living flags have been seized by the government, and only a few people, like an outpost, like in the middle of like North Dakota, they have an old school flag, and I'm glad you brought that
Yeah,
up
you're welcome.
because that's going to be sort of a big thing. It's like Sam's going to be carrying an old school flag.
Okay,
at
what
the
if
Just to
end.
hear you correctly, the flags of our past are our good flags.
They're the better
Yeah.
flags.
No, I agree for
Are we
sure.
talking about Clint Eastwood's flags of
Yeah.
our fathers?
Some of our old flags are good, others not so much.
They've
Sure.
gone back in Flags of Our Fathers and made those anthropomorphic. as
Whoa!
well.
How-
Movies have changed. Also, they change old movies in the future.
I feel like we're getting away from what made us great in the future, and I feel like the current timeline is just something that's a little, it's like, I don't want to relive real life. That's why I came into the movie theater to escape. And look, we were all elite athletes in high school and college, and so anytime it's halftime and you're not playing the way coach wants you to, he doesn't yell a lot of complicated schemes. He doesn't say, we need to do this. He just says, let's go back to basics. And that's what we're doing here. And I think that it would really excite audiences in the same way that they lost their minds for Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, one of the MCU's most highest grossing films is when the three Spider-Men came together. So this is a way to kind of make a team-up movie, but a standalone Captain America movie as well. Two Captain Americas fighting
Mark
side by
Ellis,
side.
I'm gonna put you on the spot one more time. The McDonald's tie-in. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. I'm gonna ask you. They came up with a shake themed to your movie. What's the name of that new Captain America themed shake?
Well, think about it, Hal. It's Captain America, so it's clearly going to involve the normal base milkshake, which is McDonald's vanilla soft serve, and we're going to put crushed up Captain Crunch in there. Captain Crunch with McDonald's apple pie. We're grinding up the apple pie, that's America. We're grinding up the crunch, that's Captain Crunch, all in a delicious shake with a collector straw that goes wee into your mouth.
Wow, what's it called?
It's called the Falcon Suck.
The
Wait,
Falcon
hold
Yeah,
Suck.
we're still
PG-13.
workshopping the
The
name.
Falcons suck?
That
or-
shake will bring all the Marvel fans to the
The
yard.
Falcons.
Can I ask Mark this changes the whole timeline of the MCU though? Like you're going to be watching the old movies and it won't make any sense anymore. Since
Right.
mine is in the future, it affects nothing. And that's what's nice about it. It's a standalone. Both of yours actually feel like they're pretty interconnected in Marvel, and they have like a lot of baggage as far as continuity to deal with. I feel like I'm the only one who really, I was free as a bird to think of this concept.
Where is Isaiah in yours? Because he's a fan favorite, and I didn't hear you mention it.
Well, there's a whole bunch of new characters in mine, and I just didn't have time to talk about
What's
it.
the name of the naughtiest bad guy flag?
Fred the Flag.
Oh, I'm writing that one down.
Yeah. They call him Fred, and he's big.
Okay.
And he keeps saying we're going to do it again, and we don't know what Fred's talking about.
Final
don't know,
thoughts.
yeah.
Final thoughts, arguments, parries, and thrusts. Roxy.
I think people are really, really sick of all the multi-dimensional, multi-universe time travel, going around, messing with the timeline, retconning things. Let's do a movie that takes place here and now. That isn't just a fully product placement movie because I was not loving it so much.
All right. Thank you.
You more of a Burger King gal?
Listen,
We
in
can
and
work
out
with
all
that.
day.
Long live the king. Thank you, BK. Okay, thank you, Roxy. Mark Ellis.
Hal, I don't think it's fair to put any of us in the spot where we have to fix the entire MCU. We didn't break the MCU. Not even Mike Carlson.
Right.
Okay? What we're doing is we're making a fun standalone film that could start as the springboard for future movies from which to thrive, as opposed to all this dreck we have now where there's stuff in outer space going on. There's multiple timelines. The multiverse is the laziest writing device in the history of writing devices. And I want to go to one that the fans actually appreciate, though they don't fully understand, and that is time travel. Doesn't matter if it's Back to the Future or any of the other ones that aren't as good. You can have a time machine that's a hot tub and people are still going to show up, all right?
I saw that
You
movie.
guys are trying to make some farfalutin art house pick, and I'm trying to get butts in seats weekend after weekend, not just at the multiplex, but at the drive-thru, all right? I'm making the American economy better. And what better legacy for Captain America than to not just save folks in distress in the movies, but to save motion pictures themselves.
Wow. What about at home on demand?
Yeah, I mean, after 3 weeks in theaters, will be on demand.
Oh, 3 weeks?
Yeah,
I can DoorDash my McDonald's.
And there's a code for that when you buy the movie.
All
Get a
right.
little thing you scan with your phone, and your food's coming.
What was the code?
A code.
The code is it's Falcon Slurp 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
Falcon Slurp 10.
Mike Carlson,
Yes.
hit us with your final thoughts, my dude.
Quite simply, I feel that my film is escapist entertainment that takes us away from the troubles of today. That's what I would say on one hand. And then I also want to point out that my film will also have a lot of McDonald's stuff in it. There'll be McDonald's flags and there'll be food and so you'll get your McDonald's fix as far as marketing.
Wow.
that's what I have to
It
say.
seems like you might be biting his style, and what a delicious bite that would be.
He can have the bite because guess how expensive Big Macs are going to be in 2095? Astronomical.
There.
In my time period, 10-cent hamburgers. Thank you.
Right.
Oh, brother. All right, time. Now, time.
Wait, Hal, is that enough time?
Time.
I think we got it.
Okay, we got
Now, before we decide who moves on, I'd like to hear from our fact checkers and our social media coordinator. Let's go to Lon first. Or if we were going to go to Danielle first.
Go to me.
You look,
I love it. I love attention.
Plus,
Not a ton. Amazingly, these pitches did not rub up against negative. Like there weren't a lot of incorrect facts in these pitches. I know that might be hard to believe. Roxy did call her Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine. There's a Contessa in front of that, which she does like to correct people on. Normally, I wouldn't bring it up.
You're right.
The films have established that she will tell you got to put the Contessa on there.
That is true.
Interesting to note, there have been several hate mongers in Marvel Comics. Roxy is correct. The original hate monger was a clone of Adolf Hitler, who fought the Fantastic Four. Interestingly, a different hate monger at one time posed as a fake Captain America and was seen murdering illegal immigrants because, quote, America belongs to America. That's what that hate monger said.
wow.
There is a Captain America. He is a
Tie-in.
Captain America villain in the past. Moving on to Mark's pitch, I'm curious where the Nazis get their Pym particles to operate the time travel watches.
Why don't you ask Hate Monger, or as we call him in our movie, Grimace.
Okay, there you go. Asked and answered. Time Cops TEC, they were called the Time Enforcement Commission. I'm curious as well how they interact with the TVA. We now have two competing time cop agencies, both of which love McDonald's, interestingly enough, folks.
I mean, you're working all day. You don't have time to cook a meal.
Final point for Mark's pitch, I feel like we could put the QR codes on Cap's shield. That makes it really easy to find with your phone so you can get your tie-in shake. Just a thought there.
Shield shake.
As for Mike's pitch, clearly the scientists were so preoccupied by whether or not they could make flags alive, they didn't stop to consider if they should. I think that's a real shame. I do think one more fact I would add here, flags by their very nature, they do need to be durable and lightweight, which does seem to conflict with having a circulatory system and internal organs. That's going to be a real stickler for the scientists of the future to figure out.
Ooh, Ooh, all right.
How do you get a flag to wave if it has a whole body in there?
There's a series of comics that will explain it.
Okay, tying comics. I feel like that's that.
Do whatever the octopus are doing. They have whatever.
Well,
in
they're
them.
underwater.
They get all
into it.
wavy. Yeah.
They're underwater
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Not all the time, Hal. Sometimes they're on a plate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. You love your ceviche.
They can squeeze themselves into any small little container, as we've seen.
Yeah. Danielle Radford, what's the chat saying?
All right, so we've got one from Jim 1. Since Captain America 4 was a sequel to The Incredible Hulk, Captain America 5 should be a sequel to another MCU movie Marvel has forgotten about, Shang-Chi. Steve Calderon, says Sam should wake up in 2099 and team up with Spider-Man's Miguel O'Hara. Vamsi Varna says, I love flags. You're telling me flags can love me back? Count me in. And then one from just Danielle Radford. This isn't sponsored by McDonald's. I feel, fact check, it's not.
No, it's not. Quite
a
different sponsor.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Danielle. Appreciate it. Yes, we are not sponsored by any fast food entity.
That means
eat
we're
too
open
much
for
of that
business.
fast food,
That's
or
what that means.
You'll never get into the Air Force that way.
Right? All right, let's talk about these arguments. Roxy, you know, we were a little slow in the build-up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There was a lot of talking before we got to Cap.
I know.
Also, you said it has to be a standalone Cap movie, so like only Cap. But like we already had one of the Cap movies is Civil War, and that was like one of the most epic Captain America movies, and that had like everybody in it. So like, yeah, so dinging you for that. But then like once you got to Cap, you brought the heat. Okay, like you included. Cap and like the new all his new sidekicks and friends, and you had a villain who was compelling. It tore from like issues that we go through today, but it's also true to the comics. So yeah, you had a lot of good stuff working for you there, and you pitched a very climactic ending. So major points there. Okay. Mark, you know what? Right out of the gate, like you hit it fairly early on. You hit the ground running, and I love the idea of Red Skull and who's the other villain?
Doom.
Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Who went to med school.
So epic imagining those two together.
Right?
And then the idea of Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson getting together.
Can't miss.
Oh, boy, that's a spicy meatball. I really like that.
We don't serve meatballs at McDonald's, Hal, but continue.
Oh, maybe they'll add it. Special
They do it.
feature,
They
yeah.
do in Orlando. I had a pasta dish
All right.
at Orlando McDonald's. 2 years
and
ago.
then
Yep.
That's
you know
upsetting.
what?
It was good, actually.
You're tying. You know what? You're really using
I'm an idea man.
Yeah. So I do have to ding you. Falcons suck. That's not kid friendly.
I changed it to
don't know.
slurp. We adopted the Falcon slurp.
I don't know. It's just a little like we're gonna have to work on that.
That's fair.
But overall, many pluses and check marks. You checked a lot of boxes. Mike Carlson.
Yes.
Many is the time I've lied awake at night, asking myself what if flags came to life.
Right.
Like-
Everyone has.
The U.S. flag that I'd put my hand on my heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance to as a boy. The Dallas Cowboys flag decal. Can flag decals? Question. Flag decals?
They're alive too.
Oh!
Whoa. Game changer.
And, my little grandmother's Polish flag she had in the kitchen.
Well, if it was from the era, it's not alive.
Okay, let me.
Come on, Hal.
Is that a ding or?
Anyway, that's a ding.
Yeah, I
that's
thought
a
so.
ding.
Feels
But,
like you could have gotten yourself into the next round just by saying yes.
I like.
It's alive actually.
I like the flavor of Demolition Man meets Austin Powers, and flags. They're one of our greatest representations,
Right.
but then possibly our greatest villain. What a question for the times we live in, Mike Carlson. So only two of you can move on to the speed round, and all three of you brought heat. You know what? Oh, why must I make this decision?
And we've all become such good friends.
Yeah, in such a short amount of time.
It's going to be heartbreaking to lose anybody up here.
You know what?
I won't miss you guys.
What?
Right, either way.
I feel like we got dinged on the Pym particle, perhaps, and we I feel like there was some stuff that
okay?
We don't want to hear.
It's tough. He's got a tough call right now.
Do you guys think we're all going to be friends next year when we're at school?
I don't know. What about in 2095?
We're all going to college soon. It's
I'm
going
going
to
to
be so
start.
different.
I'm going to start fresh.
You know what? At the end of the day, Mark Ellis, thank you for coming today. But
you're welcome.
I'm
ready to move on.
Yeah, the Pym particle and
we can talk about this, Hal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No. Unfortunately, the Falcons suck.
I'm hearing you like some stuff.
He's a big Falcons fan.
Am I going to Hollywood?
Mark Ellis.
My whole
thank you
family's
for playing, but
you're welcome.
Mike Carlson and Roxy Stryer are moving on to the next round.
Oh boy. Wow.
All right. Well, I think we all know where I'm going for lunch.
I'd like to thank the flags.
But Mark Ellis,
sir,
I want to hear your 2 cents.
Anything you need.
Thank
Anything you need, Hal.
Thank you. All right. Now
I still lost.
We have the most lighthearted take versus the most serious take.
I take myself very seriously.
And
Thank
now we're going to jump into the speed round. Now, this is a best of 5 game. Here's how it works. I will ask a question. We're looking for the fastest answer and the follow-ups. On an either-or question, if 2 players choose the same answer, the player who said it first gets to argue that answer. Gets to argue for that answer. The other player will have to argue for a different answer. The player who answers first gets 15 seconds to answer. The second also gets 15 seconds, and then each player gets a 5-second rebuttal. Make sense?
This is my nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm so
All right.
glad I lost.
It's my dream come true. Jump into
Pressure's on.
the speed round. Who's the better Captain America, Evans or Mackie?
Evans.
All right. Mike will argue for Mackie. Roxy, you will go first arguing for Evans. You get 15 seconds. Is someone timing or should I time it? I will time it.
I can do that.
Oh, yes.
I can be of use.
Mark Ellis, timing.
That's right. All right.
Okay.
Phone recognized me and I'm ready to go.
All right. Roxy, and go.
We've just seen so much more of him for so much longer, so he's had more time to prove himself. He also was willing to take the super serum, which obviously made him have advanced skills and do things that Mackie, as of this moment, cannot do and has said he will not do. And the actor has said he hopes that the character never does, so he can't be as powerful.
15 seconds on the clock.
All right. Whenever you're ready, Mike.
Evans is portraying a character that's on performance-enhancing drugs. He's got such an advantage there, and he basically just became Captain America like no problem. We've had to see Mackie go through all this stuff. He had a whole series he's building up. Is he Captain America? He's defined Captain America better than Chris Evans has.
5-second rebuttal.
In life, we have to take every advantage we can get, even if it's in performance enhancement drugs, whatever you got to do.
5-second rebuttal.
Mackie's Captain America he has like every power possible. He flies, he's got a helmet, he's got all these different like little things that just are cool like a toy.
Time. Yeah. Both had great points, but Roxy, when you just when you said, "Oh, we've just seen so much more of Captain America," that could be good or bad of Chris Evans. Like, that's just like a fact. That doesn't make him better. And we dinged him on the performance-enhancing drugs. I like the way Mike framed that. So it's going to be 1-0 Mike Carlson.
Okay,
1-0
okay.
Mike Carlson. In this best of 5, first person to 3. Here is the
Congratulations,
next question. Here is the next question. Anthony Mackie's Captain America joins Miss Marvel in jumping from Disney Plus to the big screen. Which Disney Plus MCU show needs a big screen follow-up?
She-Hulk.
Hawkeye.
She-Hulk.
Clock guy?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
What did you think he said?
Clock guy.
Clock guy.
I'll argue for Clock Guy.
I love that notion.
I could be Clock Guy.
If anyone can work Clock Guy into their pitch or answer, bonus. Okay, we heard She-Hulk first. Roxy, 15 seconds on the clock whenever you're ready.
I don't think that we've seen the full powers of She-Hulk yet. And she also, it's one of the only comedies that we could have in a movie. It's a sitcom. It was a workplace sitcom, and to be able to see an MCU movie with She-Hulk, who was amazing, who is so powerful, who's figuring out her dating life, who's willing to rip the seams off of things, would be amazing.
Time.
Hawkeye, low-key the best Disney Plus Marvel show. Also, I'll just say that there. It's got fun, it's got little cameos, and I'll say this, we need a bigger budget for a Hawkeye because Hawkeye in the comics does so many more fun, crazy arrows, and we haven't seen the extent of the arrows. We want a giant, big boxing glove arrow like...
5-second rebuttal, Rox?
We've seen Hawkeye on the big screen so many times, and he's good, but I want to see something different. I want something new. We need fresh blood. Let's get She-Hulk.
Yeah, we've seen Hawkeye in team-ups. We haven't seen him being a loser on a couch on the big screen, which is what I like about Hawkeye.
Oh.
Time. You know, when you said it was Hawkeye was low-key the best Marvel show, I don't think you gave the facts to back that up. And
And shout out to Loki.
And we have seen Hawkeye so many times, as per Roxy, and the flavor of that She-Hulk show you pitched, superior and distinct compared to the mishmash that was coming out of Carlson's mouth. So it's 1-1. It's
smash!
Uh-oh. All right. We're all tied up at 1-1. This is a great moment in sports.
Not
Question
for the
number
Falcons.
3.
Falcons suck, apparently.
I mean,
slurp.
You know,
True.
They had an okay year.
Who's winning in a fist fight? Green Hulk or Red Hulk? Who's winning in a fist fight?
Red Hulk.
Okay.
Carlson said Red Hulk. That leaves you to argue for Green Hulk. 15 seconds for Mike Carlson whenever you're ready.
The spirit of Harrison Ford is the spirit of someone who throws fists, throws punches a lot. We've seen him do it in movies, and we just know he's going to be pummeling until he stops. Green Hulk, yeah, he smashes. He does a lot of things. He jumps. We don't think of him as just a puncher. We think of Harrison Ford as a puncher, and that's...
Got it.
I like how Carlson stops working after 15 seconds.
Like, shut
He just
down.
literally clocks out.
Wild.
I'm following the rules. Yeah, I don't want to be disqualified.
Yep. No punches after the bell.
Green Hulk has so much more to care about. He has so much more to fight for. And when you've got so much that's worth fighting for, you're going to do better. He's also had more time to hone his skills. And Red Hulk, we saw in this movie, can be talked down. He can be eliminated. And Green Hulk's the person to do it.
Red Hulk is old and he has nothing to lose. He will throw punches with reckless abandon until he's got nothing left.
Red Hulk literally retired because he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Please help.
I'll be back.
Time. You know, Mike, a big part of your argument, part of your punch was the punches.
Yes.
Hulk's got a lot more than just punches.
We said fist fight, though.
It's a lot of...
Wow, you got me. Folks.
Fact check.
Damn. The literal word.
The
so
word.
maybe there is no Hulk clap. Like a
No clapping. We're talking punches.
Oh, all right. I gotta give it to Mike.
Oh my God.
Oh boy, you dinged the guy who was doing the ding, and man, turned me into a ding dong. All right, Mike Carlson, Roxy. I was gonna give it to you, but it got dinged.
Listen, what happens when you got to use the
Yeah,
fist
Roxy.
guy?
Sorry that.
I got to step up my game here.
All right, it's 2-1. It's 2-1. This is game match set point. Mike
Whoa.
Carlson, if he takes it.
Whoa.
All right.
I'm excited, Hal. I'm already out of the game.
Mark,
I'm excited.
you're in the game.
And I fought a lot of old guys in my life. You don't want to mess with Red Hulk.
There you go. There you go.
I fight a lot of old men at sailor bars.
They have nothing.
We'll hear more about that after the show. Okay, the next question. After 17 years, Captain America Brave New World brings the oft-forgotten Incredible Hulk back to the limelight. Which forgotten or much maligned MCU project, can be a movie or a TV show, deserves a reevaluation or revisitation?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Can we say Fantastic Four cartoon from the 90s? Specifically the one where Johnny Storm raps?
You just did, and yes, we can. Yes, we can. Jessica Jones, 15 seconds on the clock.
Bringing back Daredevil is the perfect time to now bring back Jessica Jones. It is so sad that we got rid of these Netflix properties that were so unbelievably incredible. What they do with her character, she's relatable, she's endearing, she's also so tough, and I want to see more of her, and she was too gone too soon.
Too gone too soon. That's me at a party once in a while. Man, I didn't pace myself.
Woo!
Mike.
Folks, sometimes a clip gets shared of the Fantastic Four cartoon where Johnny Storm raps, and they're like, oh, isn't this crazy? The rap is low-key good. Actually, you know what? Not low-key, good. Just straight
fire?
Fire. Just straight fire. And I think we need to bring that back and have it be a musical show. I think Johnny Storm should rap a new song every episode.
I'm gonna break this the speed round rules. Give us a little bit of the Johnny Storm rap. 1, 2, 3, go.
Flame on, flame on, flame on, and on and on. It's like really good, yeah. I can't remember the first part.
Thank you for that rebuttal.
I think sometimes you can really break a thing that you love by trying to do more of it. It's perfect in its own capsule, but you don't want to bring that back.
All right. That's best left in the past.
Yeah.
I think we should bring everything back. If it was good, we should bring it back. We should shoot formaldehyde in its veins until it's never dies.
Mike Carlson, you do not get the point.
What?
We had the better answer from Roxy, tying it into the return of Daredevil. I think the climate was right, and some things are best left in the past. And I was so excited, but yeah, your rap. I know you're a good rapper.
I know.
Mike.
I
What
am
happened?
a rapper.
What happened there?
I choked.
You usually have bars on bars on bars.
I choked.
You're all tied up. We are going to the final question. This will decide it. It does not get much more exciting than this.
May the best fighter win.
What is the best solo Captain America movie? First Avenger, Winter Soldier, Civil War, or Brave New World?
Civil War.
The first one.
First
Avenger, yeah.
For the record, no one said Winter Soldier. No one said Winter Soldier. No one said Winter Soldier.
What happened?
Hell, I would have said Winter Soldier, but I was
favorite?
eliminated.
Winter Soldier is the normie choice. That's the one that everyone says because they want to look smart. Well, we don't care about looking smart.
Woo! That is apparent. All right, so we had.
They literally.
We love looking stupid.
No, you guys, listen. You guys have brought it. Y'all are mega fans. This is a subjective question. You're gonna sell me just because I like Winter Soldier. No worries. Okay, so we got Civil War versus First Avenger. Roxy, you said Civil War for 15 seconds on the clock.
You literally reminded me earlier the standalone movie can bring all the Avengers. It has every single one of our favorite characters. It has our favorite rivalry in Cap and Iron Man, when you love them both and you question things in yourself. It's everything you would hope an Avengers movie would be, but it's in a Captain America movie. It's perfect.
Bang. Carlson.
Civil War is a fake-ass Captain America movie. It's an Avengers movie. It's not even a Captain America movie. It feels like it was pieced together like different pieces of newspaper and glued together at the seams. First Avenger is a Joe Johnston joint. It's like the Rocketeer. It's so fun. It's classic.
Time. 5-second rebuttal.
I feel you don't remember the plot of the first Captain America movie, and I'd like to hear it from you if it's that memorable.
Time.
Red Skull is up to no good, and Captain America stops him and gets frozen in the block of ice.
Time. Wow. You know, those are both great arguments. This was a great fight. All three of our fighters did amazing. Mark Ellis, that was so hard for me to choose like who would have to move on. Let's hear it. Lon, Danielle, everybody here in the studio.
Or for everybody?
I don't know.
Just for
everyone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. You know, Roxy, you sold me. You sold me. What I mean, you had it all in that movie. You had it all. It was great. But then Mike Carlson comes in and he compares it to the simpler purity of a great, oft overlooked movie, The Rocketeer, and it definitely had that bygone era feel to it. And then you challenged him on the plot, and he basically gave it to you in a nutshell. And with with the simplicity of his answer and then dinging you on it feeling like an Avengers movie and not a Cap movie. And the question was best solo Cap movie. And so he cut you off at the knees there in a close call. I got to give it to Mike Carlson.
The win for flags everywhere.
Roxy, you were awesome. Mark Ellis, you were fantastic. And Mike Carlson, nicely done. Lon, Danielle.
Al Rudnick, everybody.
Thoughts?
Having a helmet, not really a superpower, but I will still concede that this should go to Mike.
Yeah.
Maybe not an actual superpower, just owning a helmet. I think a lot of regular folks.
Danielle, any chit chat?
So some people were still kind of stuck on the Falcons suck thing. No Atlanta fans for that one.
It's
sorry.
literally what you have to do I'm sorry, this is science. It's what you do to a straw to get the stuff up. You gotta stop.
This is true.
We all suck sometimes.
We've all learned something today. Thank you, Danielle. There you have it. What a fight. Thanks again to our combatants. Thanks to you for tuning in. I'm Hal Rudnick. This has been so much fun. Hoot hoot. By Percival, throwing it back to Emma on the couch.
Yeah, and also Lon and Danielle are still here.
we're
Hey,
here.
thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much, audience, for turning up for this. We don't get to do this very much anymore, so this was really fun. It felt like a big, I don't know, old internet reunion. So thank you very, very much to our sponsor, the U.S. Air Force, who made this all possible. Thanks to the spectacular prowess of Sam Wilson, who, of course, himself is former U.S. Air Force. So perfect tie-in for Captain America. Really appreciate you all being here. And who knows, maybe we'll see you again soon. Bye.